Oh, yeah.
Well, in order
Oh, yeah, yeah, we drove down today.
they never stop. Never.
Yeah.
I was just learning Thomas Clock a few months ago, coming, going up Kayla. We got on our mountain bike. And the other one didn't pay attention, right through
They do, they come right through there, and then
I laid on a horse.
I had one do that. You ought to stop. Yeah. Supposed to.
Hang it.
Anytime. And this number is right here. Do what I can. Yeah.
Planes? There's a blue house next to me. All this loud noise.
Mr. Hotz? Motion to dispense with the reading of July 2024 minutes and accept them as presented in the records of proceedings, copy of the minutes, and approve the final form in the requested from the fiscal officer. Roll call, Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Yoder?
Yes.
Communications. Trumbull County Sanitary Engineer Office will host a public meeting on September 10th at 7 p.m. at the Johnson Community Center and provide information regarding the Meadowbrook Sewer Project, Phase 2. Also received a grant from the Alva Trumbull to seal the recycling center parking lot, which was done a few days ago.
Can you speak up?
Sure. Can we repeat that?
Can't hear you back there. Yeah.
Departmental heads reports, Police Chief Benny Harrell.
Report for the month of July, the police department handled 432 calls of service. Out of 432 calls of service, we had 51 incident reports, 10 arrests, 5 warrants issued, 7 crash reports, 7 towed vehicles, and 15 citations.
Thanks, Chief. Fire Chief Joseph Vitale.
Total calls for July were 91. We had 68 EMS calls, 4 fires, 11 motor vehicle crashes, 1 vehicle fire, 1 brush fire, 4 burning complaints, 1 service call, 1 fire alarm drop. We received mutual aid 24 times. We gave it 7 times. Went to the prison 8 times. We billed out the TCI from January to July. We've got $64,700 from them. Major repairs to equipment still sitting at $4,669. EMS backup payout. We paid our mutual aid to come in to help us. It's $2,625 from January to July. They collected $105,976.85 from Med account for our EMS billing, and we had 79% coverage for the month of July.
Police Superintendent David King.
We've been out, tar and chipping, road holes, and hot patching. We went to Johnson Community Center, helped out Tom. He had some medical issues going on, so we helped him mow up and get cleaned up. We cut down all the brush in that cemetery. We cleaned up Gary at Tree Service cleaned up some trees that fell down at Station 49 on North River. And we put grindings on the old LLB football field, where we tore the bleachers down, and we put about 140 ton down. And I want to thank Paul Bennett for bringing the skid steer over and spreading it around for us.
Thanks, David. Zoning Inspector Tyler Wilson.
So for the month of July, we gave out 3 permits. For the month of August, so far, we've given out 2. We have 14 new processes added this month. That those all extended calls or coming into contact with somebody having complaints. We had 25 are still ongoing processes. And I also have those forms that I was handing out before the meeting up here. If you guys have any more zoning complaints, get them started with me here, or you can call the zoning office at 330-898-0124. We can talk after the meeting. And the new phone system allows that to go right to my cell phone, so pretty much anytime you guys. Do that. Hopefully next meeting we'll have the new map completed, so that's all presented.
I will start our public participation. It will be on my left. On my left, from front to back. Please stand up, state your name and the reason that you want to.
Matthew Griggs, 646 Bishop. I'm just curious with the fire department EMS mutual aid 24 this month. Lately, we've been in the single digits prior to this month, as well as the coverage being 79%. Whereas, if I remember right, most of this year we've been at 99%, 98%.
Between 90, it's been in the high 90s.
Are we gonna expect that to continue to go down with capping these hours, or should it come back up? Are we going to hire more people to accommodate that?
I got a new applicant coming in today, or voting on today to bring on. That's all I've gotten so far, but working on getting more, trying to build it up, get more people in.
So if we don't bring more people in, then that number is gonna continue to go down for the coverage.
More than likely, I only have a certain amount of people that can work right now, because a lot of them went and got other jobs. So they're giving me what they can for hours, and I went to 12-hour shifts trying to alleviate the afternoons where we get a lot of our calls. It's working, but not as good as I would like it to. So I definitely need to get more people to come in. Higher.
Is there anything else we can do about this? I mean, we got a lot of people in this township that are expecting the same level of police, fire, EMS service. That's a big drop. So,
During the cadet program, correct?
We will be, yes, working on getting all that information. That's still off.
Anybody else over here on the left, please?
Yeah, I got it. Eric Moore, 636 Bishop. Before we get into the EMS stuff. First week of August, coming through center town, some random company was parked on the bridge doing, I don't know what kind of back work or something. No police flagging the intersection. Every job I've ever been on, anywhere you're near like 100 feet to an intersection. Didn't know if you guys were aware, there, you know, with maybe the dam coming out, people coming in, guys paid some overtime by somebody other than us.
The company normally pays, but they never got hold of it.
Okay, yeah, I just didn't realize, yeah, I figured nobody got hold
They'll
of it.
use private, or they'll contact us as far as, getting somebody out there.
Cool.
Anybody else over here?
Yeah, I'm on.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm gonna say same thing I said 3 months ago before I got run over by an uninsured ATV running loose in the neighborhood. Costing me hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical bills out of my pocket. We got too many ATs running around, go-karts. When I mentioned it 3 months ago, I was worried about me hitting one of them as I was going down the road, because they just blow through intersections or in go-karts that are, 2 foot off the ground at most. And I was concerned about them, and here I got hit by one. And it was 2 months in the hospital. One of the firefighters told everybody I just broke a leg. I broke my pelvis. I can't walk. I'm in a wheelchair. I got 2 broken legs, broken pelvis, traumatic brain injury, broken shoulder, finger, a whole bunch of stuff. And it's a big problem when an ATV hits you and they don't have any insurance, no license, nothing. It's all your bill. So when they go riding by, y'all think of that. If that's your kid that they run over, you're gonna pick up the tab, and nobody's stopping it. It's just keeping on going.
Why is that allowed? Like,
They said that.
why is it allowed?
She said
I'm
not gonna
Kathy
stop.
Bradley, or Keller. I live on Eagle Creek. And
All right.
my whole thing with that is,
We will not chase four-wheelers. We will not chase children on
why
four-wheelers.
are they,
Because if one of them gets killed, it's the police's fault.
But why
we're
are
not
they
doing
allowed
it.
to ride up
If
and
we're
down
gonna
Eagle
talk about
Creek?
this man's crash, we'll talk about this man's crash. He pulled out, went left the center, and got hit by a bike that was making a left-hand turn. He is at fault for the
No,
crash.
what is
By
it?
the
Why-
by the legal laws, we are not at fault,
So,
so you don't know shit,
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
no, you
Okay.
don't,
you
because
don't,
you said I didn't use the turn signal. I
because we're
did.
not in
use
an
the
area
turn
where there's
signal.
a line
On
down
a
the middle.
scooter, you don't put your arm out.
All right,
I was a 42-year truck driver, millions of miles safe driving, and
You
a
don't know nothing.
You're gonna have
13-year-old,
your opinions,
and a
that's fine.
It's not an
13-year-old took me
opinion.
up.
Go
A
to a lawyer,
13-year-old with
find
no,
out.
all
Go
right,
to
listen,
court.
listen, listen.
Maybe
no
we should sue
license.
your
Hey,
ass.
hey.
13-year-old with no
No,
license.
because he doesn't
That's
know
the right of way.
nothing.
Please, in a calm manner, man.
No, he didn't use a calm manner when I was here the last
Yeah,
damn
when I was in
time.
the
It
hospital.
blew my ass out of the water.
Yeah, when I was there.
Betty, can I say something?
Yeah.
That,
No,
on behalf of his accident,
no, because
I sit on my porch
called-
for probably a year and a half. This young lady drove that, you wanna hear, you asked for people to be quiet, so let's do it. That young lady drove that four-wheeler around the 2 blocks,
Over and over.
never had no problem with the girl. She obeyed the stop sign, she never hot rodded, okay?
But you're not allowed to
That,
ride on the
that,
road.
I'm talking,
Okay.
they all do. Go down
Eagle Creek,
422, they do wheelies,
Yeah.
so they do it. But the girl never did nothing wrong. She come by this Saturday, 4 times she went by my house, it was on my front yard, it was a nice day. This man come on his scooter and from the corner to probably almost to the next corner, flew up that road. I'm thinking, if he crashes that thing, he's gonna be injured. Because he was probably going 30 miles an hour. I don't know if he was trying to catch her or what. And then the next thing I know, he's in an accident. Well, our church camera happened to show him passing her at the intersection when she was making a left-hand turn. You don't pass in an intersection, people.
But you don't. ride on
That,
the
I'm
road.
talking,
I know, but.
you don't pass in
ride
an
on the road.
intersection. Do you have the right to be on the road with that scooter?
I need to. see-
No
yeah, I do.
different
Yeah,
than
I do.
she did.
Yeah, I do.
No different than she
Yeah,
did. You have
because
to
you
do,
can
what am
show
I
her.
saying?
Wait, everybody here.
This isn't the place to argue.
This isn't
Okay.
traffic.
Google,
Right.
but
Ohio
she did not do nothing wrong.
Okay.
I'm just telling you.
Judge, it's very unfortunate
I got all the
somebody
bills.
got-
If you get hit, you'll have all the bills. And there's nobody stopping it, and if they say they
They
can't
do the
stop it,
warning
they won't
wheelie.
chase. I watch Northwoods Law and all that all the time. All the police do is
Can you-
step out with one hand up in the air,
Down there.
and the kids stop. That's all you need to do, and just step out. You don't need to chase it.
Well, then why don't they always stop my kids whenever they want to get in?
I know that, but just.
We can
maybe
tell the
a police
kids to stay in
presence
their
will kind of
yard,
slow
when
that
we
stuff
do
down.
that, we'll enforce them down there, we'll send the guys down there and tell the kids to stay in their own yards and not be right.
It's been pretty quiet the last few weeks.
Please try to do that. Thank you. All right, anybody else, please? Go ahead.
Yeah, we're on, live on, Poplar Drive, to the police chief here. I see you're patrolling a lot more in the main neighborhoods. I appreciate it. And it's probably somebody cause it was caused by you. So I've seen more police, presence in my neighborhood than I have in the 30 years I lived here. So, I think they're out there trying to do the public well.
Thank you.
Anybody else on the list?
Kathy Keller.
Sorry.
I live on Eagle Creek. I have concern about the EMTs. What are older people in the township supposed to do when you call for an EMT and you say someone's non-responsive and they send an ambulance with no EMT, and then they have to call another EMT, and it's another 10 minutes before they got to my house. And I specifically said he's unresponsive. And so by the time the champion EMT came, he came in and my daughter got there, and she's a nurse. She came from Warren and got there by the time the EMT from Champion came, because the guys in the ambulance couldn't do anything. So he started doing what he was supposed to do. It was a diabetic coma. And my daughter told him, he said, turn him on his side. He's aspirating in his lungs. He told her to mind her own business. And he was aspirating in his lungs. So they finally finally he listened to her and he said, I've got him on a board. And she said, I don't care whether he's on board or not, either turn the board over or do something he's asked for. So by the time they got him in the ambulance and stuff, she got in to help because there was no EMTs. He told her to get out. Then he called the cops on her. So, you know, what are we supposed to do? I followed the ambulance all the way to St. Joseph's Hospital and they took the bypass to St. Joseph's. My daughter, without going through lights, made it to St. Joe's before the ambulance did. We get off on East Market Street and he stops at the light and turns all the lights out. So I'm behind thinking, did he die? Did he not make it? And then they stopped at the next light at North River Road. So I want to know, how is this going to be remedied? You know, do I have to move out of the township in order to get care that I know we're going to need further on down the road? Is that what the people that have lived here all of their lives have to do? I was born and raised here. The fire department was one of the best fire departments, EMT, in the area. And now there's nobody, and I was told by one of, I'm not going to say who I was told by, but that with the hours and stuff, that once you've met your hours, even if you are a firefighter living next door to me, they're not allowed to come over and help if my house burns down. Because they will get in trouble because of the hours.
The hours the reason the hours were where they were at is because unfortunately, one of our own firemen filed a lawsuit against the board. So this is a quote our attorney come up with, you have to follow the suit.
Okay, but what's gonna happen?
Well, we're
You
trying
know
to
that
work
there's
now
not
to
enough.
get that, get this where we can prevent that.
Okay, but in the meantime, if they don't, people are just sunk. So now my husband's life's at stake and our house is at stake if it starts to burn down. So I don't think it's even feasible to live in the township anymore. And I've lived here all my life. And that's a scary thought that I am not going to be protective where I live. So that's all I wanted to say.
Are you allowed to have volunteers?
We do have volunteers.
We have volunteers, like Captain King here, volunteers. But the way it is right now, because of the lawsuit, anybody at EMS that works on the duty crew cannot come back for off-duty calls because of the hours. But I still got, you know, Dave King and a couple other people that do come out for fires, but they're not EMS. And as far as the EMS goes, I've arranged with dispatch, so when we are short-staffed or no staffing, we have automatic, they are toning out immediately. the
This
next
wasn't
department, so
immediate
it
though.
takes out that delay, but it's unfortunate, you know, it could happen even if we had a crew on, we could be on another call, and we still got a call being delayed out. But if the other department we're calling and say they're on call themselves, it might delay a little bit more, we've got to get another department to come out. So we're trying to, I tried to make it a little bit better, but I mean.
I know it's not your fault. It's the money thing. And if the money's not be handling right, you know, all of these levies keep coming on and, you know, we're paying higher and higher taxes. And if that's not going to be covered, you know, then maybe we need to look at somebody else handling the money here and divvying it up where it belongs.
Everybody else on the left? Go ahead.
Yes, please. My name is Krista Forrest. I live on Franway Drive. I am here to discuss the fire department and EMS. For years, my family has been on the fire department. I was also on this fire department years ago. I live in the township. I just recently moved in about a year ago now. My question is to you, trustees. When is this going to stop? When is enough enough? Our residents need care no matter what. whether it is EMT, paramedic, intermediate, somebody needs to come when they are having an emergency. Straight up. With the hours reduced, these people that put their lives on the line every day, I also put my life on the line. I'm an EMT myself. What is this gonna take? How many people is it going to be that come to these meetings and complain about their EMS not coming because of reduction of hours? What is it going to take?
What reduction hours are you talking about? Because I believe you went from it increased to not decreased.
Well, I'm discussing the 36 hours that was beginning to the release contract that was reduced to 32 hours. We had volunteers for years coming to help on second calls and first calls. Years.
And with that being said, as a volunteer, somebody that's sitting at home as an EMS personnel that wants to come back to the station, you can respond to the station. You just can't go over 38 hours. That's a federal labor law. It's nothing that we can change. We can't change the federal laws of labor.
And a volunteer.
A volunteer is a volunteer. They dedicate their time.
We do not qualify for the 7K.
Why don't we qualify?
Because all of our EMS personnel is not firefighter.
There are
Make a requirement for all our EMS personnel to be firefighters.
Correct.
In that situation, what do we do with the ones that aren't currently? Do we lay them off? Do we get rid of them?
no,
Give them
sir.
time to, get their.
We talked in a meeting with your husband just a week ago about maybe getting everybody fire card. That's in the process of what we're talking. But for the time being, we can't just go to 7K rules because we don't qualify. We have, is it 4 or 5 people that aren't fire card? So we do not qualify for the 7K exemption that everybody else put together. It's unfortunate. What's that?
The legal counsel advise you don't qualify?
Correct. Multiple.
So with that being said, there are grants given to fire departments for continuing education that will cover the cost for these people to go to class. So we would pay that amount out of our fund. We would apply for the grant and that grant money would zero it out.
Jeff, the answer?
It's a grant, it's a reimbursement grant.
Yes.
So what we, like I was telling you before, it gives us half the money, at least half the money back that we put into it, so we can send people and do that. We just get set up for that.
Correct. But at this point in time, we do not qualify for the 7K. We would love to.
Work on it, please.
We have been working on it. We met with Joe about a lot of this stuff already.
Anybody else? on this?
Can I just ask a quick question? Has there been any thought at all about possibly a joint fire district like other townships, cities have? Like I know that, like Braceville's small, they do have a pretty decently staffed department. Newton Township is quite small. Southington's trying to get levies passed to possibly get a bigger, have we thought about possibly reaching out to the other townships and seeing?
Yeah, conversation with Champion, with that conversation with Braceville before on there, so there has been conversation on that.
Okay, because I know bigger departments then qualify for more grant money too on a state and federal level. Just didn't know if that was an idea possibly, since a lot of local towns are also losing employees due to wages and stuff, so, okay.
I just have a question.
Good.
So my name is Julie Knowlton. I work at the fire department. So is it possible then, if you're telling us now that we can come back as long as we don't go over hours, do you think that you can revise that memo that you guys put out? Currently, it states that we are not allowed to come back, period.
From your
for any
part-time
hours.
department.
I work 24 hours a
Because
week.
then,
I
you
work
should be
24 hours a
able
week. That is not what that letter says.
That
That is not what that letter says.
Not allowed to come back after 38.
Okay, but that is not what the letter says. The letter straight up says you cannot come back for calls. That is what your letter says that you signed.
Yes, we can say that.
But they can't come back as firefighters. That's the work. For people jobs. on duty.
Because
Because
the attorney said that you can't be an EMS individual and volunteer. Unless you're paid, then.
But we are paid for calls.
by the
It would
hour.
go on that hourly thing.
So
I can't even hear him.
then you have to track hours as firefighter, as EMS, and that would be pretty hard for Joe.
So then we're still not allowed to come back for any calls then, is what you're telling me.
What's that?
You're telling me that I still cannot come back for any calls then.
That's what we decided. So we figure out something.
So then you're losing a paramedic and firefighter that can come back for 12 hours.
I mean, is it something that you can police?
I mean, I've created before the directive came out, I had created a tracking sheet for it. That, for them, they would track their hours, they came for a volunteer call, they track and they turn it into weekly. So, I mean, I do have a way to track it, it's just the same time sheet that they would do, just modify it to be able to track the volunteer calls.
You have to also count for the cost.
You know what I'm
That's not possible now.
trying to decide.
All this is something that we're gonna be getting $14, $16 an hour for the whole time they're there. So that's gonna
I think
be-
Julie Knowlton's case, I guess is what I'm thinking is that if she had the available time, she would work 38 hours a week.
Yeah,
We have coverage time that's not taken, so there are dollars there that can be put towards
That's as a firefighter. So
as an EMS.
that's accurate. But I'm just saying, when EMS people volunteer as firefighters, they essentially are not get paid because they're volunteers. But that we can't do that.
They can't volunteer.
So when they go out to a fire, as, not as an EMS person, as a firefighter, you have to account for the money being spent while they're at the fire that we've never spent.
Even
Whether it's
her-
overtime or not, it's straight time, it's still money we haven't spent.
Even on an EMS call like she's talking
Well, on
about,
an EMS call, that's different because now you're,
that's what you're talking about, right, Julie?
I'm talking
She's talking
either.
about
I mean,
both.
we were getting paid per call to come back as volunteers. It was a flat fee just to come back to run a call.
Correct.
It
Under
didn't
the-
matter.
under the
I
federal-
don't do this job for the
under
money.
the
I work
federal
full-time
labor
as a
law-
nurse. I don't need this job.
Under
I
the
do this
federal
because of
labor
the
law,
residents.
what we have found out is that unfortunately, and everybody that has volunteered, you guys are all heroes, and everybody does volunteer for next to nothing. We agree with all of that. But under federal labor law, you cannot volunteer for the same job that you get paid to do.
To pay us our regular wages.
If
I
you
mean,
can
that's
sue them
not,
to come back to
it's
it.
not hard.
Well, I'm thinking, isn't it the same as her working 38 hours? I agree. Isn't that the same?
Yeah, that's what she's saying, she has 12 hours available, because she only does 24 hours a week.
And she may only be here 26 hours, because she may only get out for 2 hours for a call. But I'm saying though.
But
she-
But if I'm allotted 38 hours at my
she
pay
worked 38
currently,
hours a
it would still be
EMS.
covered.
She would be paid the same amount of money.
yeah, but we're paying, in theory, we're paying some of that money for something we've never paid for. What I'm
But the law has changed though. So I mean, you may have to adjust to that.
Remember, they're
We can adjust to all of it. We pay everybody overtime.
Well,
It's
no,
just-
Nobody's
I think
asking
that
for
what
it.
she's
It's
saying
a
matter of
is
finance.
I think what she's saying is up to that 38-hour mark.
Yeah, as long as nobody goes over 38 hours.
And it's still the fire department. They're still in the
she
same
does the
department.
same job, she runs.
Yeah,
fire.
I understand that. I'm just saying, if a volunteer firefighter went to a fire, they were there for 4 hours, they got paid $12.
Right.
35 cents.
So now when they go there for 4 hours, they're gonna get paid $14 to $16 an hour for those 4 hours. So your expenses just went up 4 to 5 times per person. What's that?
But somebody turned the light on and,
I mean, if she's willing to go as a firefighter, if she's willing to go as an EMS, whatever she's doing that job as, pay that rate for that.
Well, we
time.
can't.
Yeah,
They said the jobs are too close, so. The problem is the attorney has said an EMS person and a firefighter, especially if they have all the certification, are too close. So essentially they're volunteering for their own job and that's not allowed. So everything these guys are telling you, at least,
Just,
is what the attorney told them that they should do. They're not making this stuff up to cut hours. It's just, there was a lawsuit filed. They went back to the attorney. We thought they could work a certain amount of hours. The attorney said that, be conservative, we should. hold it for the week. So it all comes down to everything, you do whatever you want. It just becomes
I'm sorry, to me, that makes no sense, because say, you have an emergency,
I know you're gonna say there's no value over life, absolutely.
or the house is on fire. Who gives a crap how much money you're paying out?
Only 7:30,
to save the
It's
life?
never been.
like 8:30.
On the money. The issue of it is there's only so much they're allowing them
After 8 o'clock, time to go home.
to be able to do.
Before they get overtime, is what you're saying.
No, just restricting on the fire side and.
But then you gotta stay overtime, which is.
Well, you can pay overtime, not the end of the world. Then you could also, if you reach the max hours, you can get full-time benefits and the full-time.
Well, she's got 14 hours she could use. She has 14 hours that she can use right now. So why ain't she using them 14 hours and getting paid what she gets paid as a medic or EMT or whatever she is?
What
14 hours.
you talking about?
Don't matter if she's on a fire or she's there as a medic. She's there, if she's there, she gets paid her wages.
So it's not that she was sitting at the fire department. When a fire happens, they get called out. Previously, they got under $13. They could be at the fire for 12 hours. They were volunteers, so they get $13, just rounding, $13 to be there, because they're volunteers. $13, I guess, to cover the gas and whatever. Now, when they're there, they're gonna get paid by the hour, which is, if that's what everybody determines is the right thing to do, that's fine. But you have to remember, is nobody cares about money until they don't have it. Right? Vienna, they spend all their money. So.
They don't know where.
Somebody took their money.
Somebody took the money.
The money's still gone, whether they took it or not. The money's still gone.
Yeah, so when it's not the money, so then everybody cares about money.
But we have. Why can't you just make it right with this firefighter? And we can go back to work.
And my house is
I mean,
burning down, nobody's coming.
I've been in here for 47 years.
We can't discuss that.
Okay.
Well, we can make it right. I mean,
Okay.
there's three of you.
Yeah, so
I mean, we're
we have
all
to just
here, we're
like
not
to
done.
We didn't make it wrong. Nobody brought it to our attention until it was wrong. So we never had an opportunity to put that to bed before it got to this point. So we can't talk about pending litigation, unfortunately, because it is a lawsuit ongoing. We would have much rather had a table sit down, this is wrong, we need to fix this, we'd have been more than happy to do so. But that's my. What doesn't really impact us, because whenever this lawsuit gets settled, it doesn't change anything with what everybody else is talking about, because you're still talking about it's gonna cost more money.
You know how to handle his ass?
Unless Joe goes and finds, 10 more EMS people, then either you're gonna have to pay them overtime, which is, if you pay them overtime, that's money that we didn't, to do their expenses we didn't incur before. If we allow the EMS people to go to fire calls, that's money we didn't spend before. And then all of a sudden, you're counting your pennies, because you get to the point where all the excess funds, all the excess money you have in that fund is gone.
Joey, how many do we have on staff on our EMT?
He's like, where's this guy been?
Okay, so.
How many?
Don't you dare.
Everybody, current stuff, I got
Yeah, right.
Okay, so let's.
signs that are active.
What was the question?
The question was, how many do we have on staff?
As far as EMTs and EMSs, what was the answer?
I have 18.
And what?
As far as who's active because of everything that's with their new jobs and stuff, I really only got 8 that are active that sign up for shifts.
If 10 people signs up, you fill your schedule every month.
If I can get 10 people to sign up, it should, with my new 12-hour shifts I'm doing, it should cover it, yeah.
So we have people that are putting 1 day a week in Warren Township and then putting 3 days a week in Bristol.
Yeah, I mean, they're making, they want to make money.
Is it different?
Yeah. Considerably.
I'm saying Bristol's making more money than us.
Yes.
What is their?
Bristol has- What's our medics at 18 now?
I want to say so.
I think it's 18 for a medic and 16 for a patient.
We're the lowest paid in the county.
Yeah, we are.
I did this research last year and brought it to you guys' attention. We're the
And we
lowest
gave
paid in
3
the county.
raises last year to raise it up there, so we're not the lowest.
We are.
Yes.
But will it help if we try to increase that?
I mean, it could, it might even bring more people in. It's not a guarantee.
But Newton Falls is being the most highly paid, correct?
Right.
Do they have open shifts every weekend, most of the time they're illegal?
They have open shifts, they're not.
They have open spots like everywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a shortage of people doing this job.
Exactly, but it's everywhere.
Correct.
But we need to do this for the welfare of our residents.
Well, yeah, I just don't want our residents thinking Warren Township is the only person that can't get people at their fire department, because it's not really the case.
Correct.
It is a countywide problem, a statewide problem, to where Governor DeWine just put out a new thing for bringing back volunteers, something that has been long gone to the fire service. And people don't volunteer like, I mean, you can remember when your dad was a volunteer.
We paid for their training and then they
Yeah,
leave.
but when my
They,
dad
they
was
had, they had to
volunteering,
throw people off the truck, there were so many people showing up, but that's just
Correct,
not,
but it never was like this. Like,
correct.
I mean,
They had tons of people.
but we were a part of the association. I mean, I was a cadet. My father was on the fire department for over 30 years.
Correct.
And now, look at it, like, I mean, because somebody filed a lawsuit, now all this is coming up and now residents, I mean, you've had issues with your health. Everybody
Unfortunately,
here, what
yeah, I mean,
happens?
I'm not the most healthy guy, probably, I'm fat.
Oh,
but that's
okay.
okay.
Me too.
I'm all right with it.
But, I mean, when my mom got sick, she coded, the ambulance was there 3 minutes. Now what happens now? Thank God my mom's not here to have, not in that way, but, if, in this situation, because my mom would have died if there's nobody here to, they've met their 38 hours or whatever.
Correct.
I mean, what, come on.
Right, we're paying for their training, then they leave.
Right.
We were paying for their training, and then they leave our township,
The police.
the fire, the
officers do
police or
same
whatever.
thing.
Yeah.
We
It
pay for
has
it,
happened.
then they would go on.
It has happened.
It cost us money. If they'd stay here, I could see us paying for their training.
Well,
We
they
can do a
make it
contract
that
though that they have to stay for X
stay
amount of
for so
time,
many
or they
years.
have to pay it back.
Question for
They don't pay it back.
Mr. Connor.
They don't
If
pay
the
it back.
county would step in and help, or if the county would step in and do their job and get the money that the township is owed, wouldn't that extra money go and help towards? Yeah, so what needs to happen is this room needs to be down there.
We did that as an association.
For the county meeting and getting on their ass. Our money that we're owed. And then Tyler, what is it up to now? Just in back taxes? We were losing out on $1 million.
There's a house.
There's some people that haven't paid property taxes at all in
Yeah.
the time that they've owned the
And then
house.
the county is responsible for tracking down that money.
And the treasurer's office is who collects that. We have brought them here to this identical room for that meeting a few years back. We have no teeth or control to collect your taxes.
Well, we need to get the teeth.
But it's not something that you can get. It's not structured that way through the state of Ohio. So the treasurer's office is in charge of that. At that time, when he came here, was that 3 years ago, 4 years ago? It would have cost him $3 million was his quote to file the foreclosure action on everybody that was behind on taxes in Trumbull County. That was just the first notice.
That was not to make it through court. That was just the first filing. That's why the treasurer is not going after everybody with those taxes, because it would also hurt the county to lose that money for just filing.
So what can we do as a
Call the
community?
treasurer and
I
tell
mean,
them to start collecting
No,
taxes.
I already talked to Kansas Mesa, I've talked to Miss Frenchco, I've sent emails, and like I said, I even asked for an ambulance. I understood why they said no, but they don't respond, and if they do, it's, I'll get back to you, I'll get back to you. And you know, I am persistent. Somebody needs to step in. So we have all these people here who want to help. What can we do to help? How can we find out all the foreclosures in Trumbull County? I mean, what can we do?
Go to the auditor's office.
You
know I'll be out there. I'm not playing with them.
Lamacusa's office is the one where you have to attack.
Yes.
You have to go to Lamacusa. He's the one that deals with these. When we had Michaelicus, he used to put the houses up for all the back taxes. He used to have a sheriff's sale. Now everything's gone digital. So you have to, when you want to bid on a property that has been foreclosed on or for a sheriff's sale, you have to go online, go to their website. That's how you have to deal with it. There's 50, well, from what you told me, there's only 39% of the people in Warren Township that pay their taxes. But they want the same services as those that pay their taxes.
65.
No, 60.
My understanding was 56. The last time I got a count, it was 56 people, 56% of the people paid their taxes. The other 47% did not.
I got that number backwards.
44%.
I think it's 60-40 pay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
60-40 pay.
But still, you know, the point being, whether it's 40, 30, or whatever, you can't expect the same services, and you can't expect the same services that those, when you don't pay your taxes, as those that do. I mean, we want a safe and viable community, but it takes dollars. I'm waiting on roads to be paved in my neighborhood, and it hasn't done yet. You know, we penny pinch our way out of everything. And as I've always said, every meeting I'm here, or when I discuss something, we can't keep penny pinching our way out of this process. We have to spend some money somewhere. And it has to be in the most important things that we need in the township, which is roads, bridges, housing. And we're not doing that. I love Johnson Community Center, but some of that ARP money should have went somewhere else. We could have been using that money to help these fire and our EMS.
We spent.
And then we send our police department, God bless, I love my police department. I'm gonna give them accolades because I had some professionals. They came there to a domestic in my neighborhood. They handled it very professionally, the two gentlemen that are here. Not unless they went on a call, but they handled it very well. And we talked and they talked it out and they took care of it without incident. They took care of it. And I see my police department on my street, in my community, every morning, every day, all day, and including in the evening. So we get 100% coverage from them. But like some of the ladies are saying, ladies and gentlemen are saying, if there's a fire, somebody has to go in. Would it be a resident to help that person that their house is burning down, get their fire hose out, their water hose out from their yard? Somebody has to take and help these firemen out. We need them. We need to start putting the dollars where it counts. You can't expect residents to come into this township when we don't have good sidewalks, when our roads are blighted. We do have Tyler, who has been very aggressive at going after people that are for blighted properties. We have a superintendent that's still an interim, but you want to hire another superintendent, and you should make him the superintendent. And I understand union, because I'm union. I was union for 45 years. But you need to make him, why would you pay somebody else to do the job that he has to train somebody to do for 2 years?
Why we got an assistant township clerk?
Well, why don't you make him?
It's been offered.
Four times, Darryl.
All I'm saying is that we're working with, we got 3 people. We just got some part-timers on the road department.
We got 3.
We've been working with 2 people on our road department for the last 2.5 years. 2. And then they've been volunteering. Ed has come out there, our trustee, he goes out there and help patch roads. See, these are the things I'm talking about.
You need to stop penny pinching our way out of here and spend some money. I know you got that OPCW money for the roads that's coming up. But then my understanding is somebody doesn't want to pay the price for that. They only want to do part of the roads. But see, I'm just a concerned citizen. You guys been knowing me, I've been in the township for 52 years. And I've watched you guys grow. You didn't even have a police department when I come in here. And I helped get you to the police department. And here we are now, we're discussing things that I've seen we had a volunteer fire department that would drive their own trucks, come over to Dover Street, get in the engines and go do what they had to do. But now we can't even get that because we're sitting here talking about a matter of a couple of hours. If we start paying these people what they deserve and quit penny pinching, they wouldn't go to Bristol. They wouldn't have to go to another community to get paid. I know we don't have the money. Our new fiscal officer, he's saying that we don't have the money, but I've seen the $5 million that came out of the ARP money that everybody else has been using for some reason. And then there is money out there to hire other people.
You got $524,000 out of ARP.
So, does our clerk still have
I went to Johnson Community Center and to fix up some stuff over there. And then they used it.
There's been nothing been spent on Johnson Community Center at all.
Did you use it for the roof?
We put the roof on Johnson Community Center. We used $150,000 towards the Brookside paving project. We paid the.
And then you shorted me on the sidewalks on Todd Avenue. You said you was gonna put up $178,000 when we had the meeting with the Trumbull County engineers. Am I right, Kay? I couldn't even get anybody down there other than Kay to come down there and take photos of people coming out of school. We got kids still walking in mud.
Yeah, but that part of that is in Warren City, Earl.
The part that I'm talking about from 6th Street on,
Yeah.
that's Warren Township. Now I got people asking me about streetlights. I asked you at the last meeting I was here. Does anyone know if this is a lighting district? I talked to the new Ohio Edison person that came here and presented his business to them. And he said he'd check into it. It seems like we always talking about what we're checking into, but we never get it done. That's all I'm saying. You know, I'm a loyal guy. I love all you guys. I treat you all the same, but I will not stand by and watch this community because I represent the whole community as being the chairman of the zoning commission. And our zoning commission has been stonewalled for 3 years. 3 years. The things that you have asked us to do, we've taken heat for about these solar farms. We've taken heat for it because people think that we're going in there telling them how to manage their own properties. And then it's taken 5 months, Tyler, to get the map updated since 1980. We can't even get it on the agenda to get it okayed by you. We had, and the zoning variance book has not been updated since 1980. We had to update the fees. Thank God we got a heck of a secretary and a new zoning chair, because they're all working hard. Our whole committee worked very hard to try to get this township on track. We even went digital so that you can access everything digitally. But we haven't had an opportunity for you guys to bring it to the floor. We've asked for public meetings. We've asked for you to be public participants at our meetings. And it hasn't happened. Daryl Parker, 705 Miller Street, Warren, Ohio.
One thing comes out of this, when we look at it, I think that it's going to make us a stronger community again. Somewhere we have become disconnected as a community. And even though it's looking bad now, I think this is gonna bring us back together and we can get back to where we were many moons ago.
But this is how you get it back together, with the community discussing and talking to our people that we elect to take care of these things.
Exactly.
And then if we don't talk to you about them, you're gonna let it go by the wayside. You don't think anything's happening or anything's wrong. You know, we talked about housing. I had a lady that somebody squealed that we were bringing in people from homeless people from Warren, because we were talking about bringing in micro homes. I worked on that project for 3 years and I haven't heard a dime from you guys. You know, we've even talked with this, you know, we went through aesthetics, we went through positions where they're gonna be at, locations, and these are to benefit, to bring in our people or more people into the township. We even had the locations, what the aesthetics look like, and nothing has happened. We got more participation out of the Trumbull County Planning Commission Julie Green, God bless her, and Kimberly Vaughn, who updated our map, helped us update, it, helped Tyler and Julie. I'm just saying, I know, you don't know you know a development, you're in the construction.
Yeah, I really truthfully thought on the tiny homes, it would stop with our
State law. doesn't allow for it.
state law doesn't allow for some parts, and also we wanted to be a little more, the zoning laws we were looking to put in as far as aesthetics and would be more discriminatory.
We went through all of that with the Ohio Revised Code.
Right.
We know what you can and can't do. We have that on paper. We presented to you that when you came to our meeting, it was there. We know what we need to do. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just here trying to get our community a little better than we were. We can't keep penny pinching our way out of these messes.
I don't think we keep penny pinching, Darryl.
I'll give you some of my cans.
I think maybe your facts should turn around. We paved 23 roads. Besides Liberty that went out and got millions of dollars on a loan, we paved, and you can check this, which I'm sure you will. You can check down at the engineer's office. Warren Township paved more roads in the last 2 years than any township. Here's another fact for you.
You didn't pay mine. I got big
$325,000.
rocks in my road, just like.
Dennis, when you walk into
John
it,
got to get his road taken care of.
Think about it.
Say so, so
You
now
see how
we
big
should
these
have a
rocks
say.
are?
They finally.
E,
Couldn't put rocks in my.
But how long-
walk into it to the yard.
Federal Street, 5219, Bob Spring, I'm not running for office. Pleasure to meet you all.
What's your address, sir?
Coach Bob. We'll get it handled, guys. You talk.
Yes, for
your address, sir.
What was your address?
I
I'm
don't need
sorry.
nobody.
5219
Oh, man.
I need to send somebody out to sweep up these rocks on our street. To tear up my car. This is supposed to be for base. I've worked for paving for over 20, 30 years. This is base stuff, not on top of the road. Thank you very much.
All right, anybody else over here?
I got some, I'll pick some up, if you want, I can throw them out in the fire, have your pile.
Are we doing this half?
We're working there.
Back here.
Anybody else on one? Go ahead.
Okay, Phil Fletcher, I live on Woodside Drive, and I want to thank the police department for taking care of a problem we have over there. And that they've been really patrolling a lot, so we appreciate it. And the four-wheelers, we have the same problem. Since you guys paved the roads, it's like the racetrack. Okay? And they told me to call 911 every time I seen one, and I happen to do that. The other day, they were racing down the road two side by side. And so that's what we're doing. And the fire department, all my wife's family and my son worked in the fire department for years. And we did have, it was different then, because we had Station 3 was open, it was bio, and Station 3 is done now. I mean, it's just, it does nothing. But I don't know what's going to cause us all, what's going to take to solve the problem we need to solve it.
My question is if we're paying to train people and they're leaving for $4 more an hour, do our EMS and firefighters have to live in our district to work, or can they come from other districts?
They come from all over.
Okay, so if we're paying to train them and they're leaving, say, to go to Bristol for $4 more an hour, and they live 10 minutes from the station here, but yet they're driving 35 minutes for $4 more an hour. Can we pay them $2 more than what we normally pay to keep them here in our district? I mean, for $2 difference, I don't know that I would drive an hour every day back and forth.
They're not paid for school.
What's that?
They don't pay for school. We don't get paid for education. That's on us to continue our.
I thought
continuing
he had
education.
just said
We do not.
police officers.
Police officers. They said it to the academy.
Yeah, for the academy. I mean, is $2 more an hour? I mean, you're talking $80 an hour at 40 hours a week. Is somebody's life worth $40?
I bet. It's definitely worth $2 more an hour, but as we've said, that Newton Falls, who pays the top out of everybody here, they also have open shifts. It's
What is
not,
the percent open?
I don't know that. I just
so don't
asked
wanna
people to
compare
work there.
Other stations unless we have the same information right here.
Okay, I'm just saying, is as a whole, there are open shifts at
I
every
understand
station.
that.
Bristol has the same, they run some nights.
I
with
mean,
one
that doesn't
person.
really,
They'll run a whole 24 with one person on duty, we do the same thing. What's that?
I'm a facts person, I like to
That
have
is right.
facts.
I don't have the facts, we can look into that if you'd like.
I get that, yes.
We just need to hear from your husband that there's open shifts everywhere, so.
I get it, I hear it too. I'm not
I
saying there
kind
isn't,
of
but
believe
again,
what
I
he
don't
says.
know
so.
if the percentages are the same,
Okay.
and if a pay difference would make a difference.
It could.
It very well could. But I do know that the pay is an issue. Just from what I hear.
And this is not just for your, we've never said we wouldn't pay for training. Just so that's clear for everybody in this room. Only thing we haven't said about training is if you work for 3 departments and you want to go to be a inspector, we'll pay a third, let the other 2 departments pay their third as well. Because people do work for multiple departments.
Well, that's neat.
I mean, we paid for training.
Can't they sign up, when you guys send them out or when they become part of our community? If they go to training, can you put, an agreement together
You could.
so that they have to be here a certain amount of, years? Say
Make
2
a
years,
3-year
a
agreement
minimum
with
2
most
years,
people do.
minimum of 2 years, say 2 years. I don't want to make it too far out because some departments put a 5-year limit on it, you know, before they, and if they leave in that prior time, then they are responsible to pay that money back. I'm just saying.
We not have it in place till 3 years.
You know, I mean, there's something that you could do
Yeah, we've
to
done
maintain
that,
our
we've done that
community.
agreement in the past. Errol, we have done that agreement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else over here?
On this side of the room?
Right.
Yes.
The right side.
Right.
My name is Vicki Romack. I live at 6430 Woodview Circle. Been in this township for 60 years. I have an issue with the fire and just like everybody else in the room. My dad is 81 years old. He's stage 4 metastatic cancer. I've called an ambulance for him many times, and many times I've had to wait for Champion to come. My neighbor's house across the street 2 years ago caught fire. Newton Falls was at my neighbor's house before anybody in Warren Township ever came. I mean, this is an issue. It's not, this isn't something new, you know, it's not, you know, yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we could do this. Well, let's start doing something. Because God help somebody if something happens to my dad. And I call for an ambulance and there isn't one here. Between my dad and I, we own 5 properties in this township. And our property taxes are paid. Which brings me to the next thing. I want to say that Tyler Wilson is doing a remarkable job on the zoning board here as our zoning inspector. I made a call. I didn't even know he was our zoning guy. I made a call 3 weeks ago, a little over 3 weeks ago, left a message. I own 2 rental properties on North Levitt Road, right next door to each other. There's a house right before my 2 that has grass in the backyard. No exaggeration, the weeds are this tall. Never been mowed all year. There's appliances on their front porch. There's cribs on their front porch. There's garbage dumped in the backyard. You know, and years ago when they first came in, their kids were shooting BB guns at the siding on my houses, at the windows on my houses. And I was told that there was nothing that could be done because I didn't have it on a camera. I knew who it was. My tenants knew who it was. But nothing could be done. Okay, I can accept that. Now these people are $8,200 behind in their property taxes. Tyler has sent them a letter that they accepted, but they won't contact him. There are rats and raccoons living in that house. They are coming over onto my rental properties that I take care of, that my tenants take care of, that I pay property taxes on that are up to date. I just had to pay an exterminator $600 per house. It's $1,200 for 2 houses. He's coming once a week and setting bait traps outside for the stuff that's coming over. So I would appreciate it if somebody would help him by doing something about these properties, because that's only one. There are plenty more. And I talked to Tyler about it the other day. You can go down North Levitt Road and you can look over and you can see a mound of garbage bags behind somebody's garage. A mound.
What help do you want? We give them everything you want.
Well, I'm not saying
If
nobody
he
helps
wants to take
him.
them to court, we're all for that.
Okay, that's all I'm asking.
We did that to many people.
Yeah, let's get these people to court. You know, obviously, we can't make them pay their property taxes. Obviously, we can't make them mow their grass because they don't give a darn.
He has the authorization anytime.
You know, I don't know where they came from, but they need to go back where they came from because they don't belong
We
here.
have the same problem on Hamilton Road, so that's why we gotta take them.
So, you know, and there's somebody that was a business owner in the township that owns like 6 or 7 properties, and he doesn't take care of any of those either.
He has 4, he's did a great job.
He has done a wonderful job, but I'm just asking, as a taxpayer in the district or in the community, please back him in anything he
Have we
needs.
not backed you on anything?
Okay, I'm not saying that you haven't, I'm just asking that you do, please
When
do,
we hired him, we told him to go full go. And he did.
because something's gotta be done, or the fire department's gonna be getting a call and nobody's gonna go. Because that house is gonna get burned to the ground.
My name is Sandra Black, and I'm renting a house on Federal Street Northwest. I'm 83 years old and the doctor wants me to walk. But the only problem is, we've got stones this size that are on the road when I'm trying to walk. And unfortunately, I fell. And the life alert, I'm sure you've seen these, okay? It's not doing any good with stones like this.
Anybody else have it? Go ahead, sir.
Roy Grubbs, I'm at 290 Real Boulevard. I have 2-part questions. I live on a very unique street. Short Street, as you probably all know. And the street has 2 houses on it that are TMHA housing, Trumbull Metropolitan Housing Authority. 2 Trumbull Metropolitan Housing Authority buildings or houses on our street, and at the end of the street, it has TMHA properties of the apartments. And as you well know, TMHA is just subsidized housing to help individuals get affordable housing in Trumbull County. These individuals don't pay taxes. They don't have to cut their grass. TMHA cuts their grass. They don't have to do any maintenance. Call TMHA. You know, your water goes out, your furnace goes out. Call TMHA. That's all our taxpayers' money working to give them affordable housing. My question is, the individuals that live in these houses in our community, do they have the same rights as we do as taxpayers, even though they don't pay taxes? They do not pay taxes, but one of them comes to our meeting, address our meeting. He votes on legislation. He prays or whatever it is, complains. He's allowed to have a voice in our community meetings, and he's even allowed to run for office, but he's not a taxpayer. He's not even a permanent resident because TMHA doesn't have permanent residents. If they go outside and smoke on TMHA property, they'll get kicked out. TMHA got their own rules. So he's not a resident of Warren Township. He's a resident of TMHA. So is he allowed all of the benefits that we do as taxpayers? And if he does, and if he is, then why not, are we not inclusive and get in touch with the other 200 TMHA people and tell them, come to the meeting? And they can have the same privileges as we do. They can vote, they can voice their opinion, they can run for office, they can tell us what to do, as taxpayers what to do, and they don't pay taxes.
I don't know what you're asking there, Roy. What are you asking?
I just asked, I said
Oh,
two-part question.
Okay.
Do they have the same rights and privileges as taxpayers, even though they do not pay taxes? Why are they at our meeting voicing their opinion, voting on our problems, our issues, and running for our office?
I see several people that are not working, but they're at a meeting.
I'm sorry, would you repeat that?
We can't control who's in here.
Right,
There's several
I
people in here
understand.
right now that are not Warren Township
Right,
residents.
I understand.
Right.
Because I've been to Warren's meetings. Now, when I go to Warren meeting, I can come into the meeting, but I have no voice. I can't talk to anybody on that member on that staff. I have to wait till they go outside to voice a complaint. When I go outside and voice a complaint, you know what they do? They shuffle me around. Go see this person, go see that. I get no direct answer from them because I don't pay taxes in their community. And my question is, why is an individual coming in our meeting, voting, running for office, and complaining and having a voice when they don't pay taxes?
I don't know who this individual is, so I can't.
I think he's talking about me.
I'm talking about you.
Well, first of all, I'm not running for office.
I didn't say.
You
If
said
you-
running
if
for
you're
office.
in this, if you're in this meeting, and if you're talking, then you're out of place. Because
There's a problem,
you
is
have
I
no
am a
voice.
resident of this town. I've been here many years. I grew up here.
We're not talking about.
Okay,
we're
and the
talking
unit
about
I
this
live in,
community.
I don't pay
Hold on,
taxes.
hold on.
Okay,
Hold
wait,
on,
you
I'm
gotta
talking.
address, well,
I'm
you
talking.
gotta address us.
Address the
You
board,
gotta
not each
address the
other.
board, not each other. Address the board.
Well, I'll talk when he's done.
Okay, my point is, and you haven't answered.
Yes, I
Why-
have.
why
Unless
should
you're
this
talking about
individual-
Warren City, that's built into Warren City's rules of order. Here, we do not have that built into our rules of order. So you can come up here and you can turn around and make your comment. And if it deals with Warren Township, we'll try to help you out. If it doesn't deal with Warren Township, we're gonna refer you to Warren City or wherever jurisdiction you're talking about. As far as voting, we don't have no control of that. And rolling, running for office, we don't have no control of that. Any of you people can turn around. So I don't know what you're really asking us to do. I can't tell this person or that person, they have to leave the room because they're not a resident. I mean, some of these people have been part of Warren Township for years. They just in the past, whatever, 15, 20 years, they moved out or they're back here because they got concerned. That's our job, to address and listen to you. So we can't tell any individual, hey, we're not gonna listen to you. If it's a Warren Township problem, they have the ability to turn around and make a comment.
So you're saying that even though you're not a taxpayer in Warren Township, that you have the same rights and privileges.
If
as
you're a
every other
resident of Warren
taxpayer
Township, you have
in
a right
Warren
to
Township. Is that what
come to
you're
the
telling
meeting.
me? Is that
If you are a
true?
resident of Warren Township, and even if you're not a resident of Warren Township and you have a concern that has to deal with Warren Township, you have the right to address the board.
If you're not a Warren Township resident, you can't speak at our meeting, right? That was my understanding. If you're not a Warren Township resident, you cannot talk in our meeting.
Yes, but I think it's never been.
We have probably been more liberal. To Warren Township, because I have people that move in and out of my street or in my community, the southwest side of Warren Township. And they come in, they're still part of the Warren Township community, even though they don't pay taxes. But you live here. You have the same rights as anyone else that does pay taxes. We have people that don't pay taxes that live here. And we're worried about a person that lives in Warren Township. And I'm not taking no side, any side. I'm just telling you the facts. You cannot discriminate against anybody because they don't pay taxes in the community. If they live in the community, they have a home in this community, whether they own it or rent it, they're allowed to come to our meetings because they're considered a Warren Township community person. When I first came to these meetings, I was renting. But I was still on the committee called Our Aim to Improve. When we were trying to get Warren Township Police Department voted in to Warren Township. I was 22 years old. So you can't tell someone because they're not paying taxes or TMHA or any other entity that because you aren't paying taxes in this township, but you live here and you raised your family or whatever, you can't tell them not to speak in these meetings.
We have anybody else over here?
I'd like to talk.
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm just wondering, do you guys have a plan in place in case, like, I mean, God forbid, like, May, what, or an 85 or tornado, something massive happens, and all these EMS have already used their 38 hours? I mean, are you gonna make an exclusion or exception saying, hey, you can come? I mean, I'm sure our fire department would totally jump on board, and do it for free, but do you guys have something in place?
What do you really, are you?
Like, say something.
No, I know what you're saying, but what do you want to, want to look at a full-time department? Is that what you want to look at?
No, but I'm just saying.
No, I'm just asking, because I'm, as a trustee, or you want to look at, it because we did the numbers. I mean.
Would it be more?
What's the number?
Like.
You want to give the numbers? You put them in order. I mean, I know what you're saying, but there's such a small pool that everybody's.
What we're trying to find out is where are we going from here?
You gotta have money coming into the township. There's no money coming here.
We're all gonna come together with something.
Short of taxes, that people, nobody pays, there's no money coming.
But we see, we've never had this issue.
True, because the
We
inflation,
had-
nothing's ever cost this much. You have no money coming in. How many businesses are paying money into the town?
They don't.
We don't have the income tax. Probably, so there's no money coming in. You can spend all you want, there's nothing coming in behind it. There's no there's no money to spend.
Association, we never had this issue.
Right.
Just let you know, we did not get rid of your
I know,
association.
I mean, maybe we can look back into, getting back into that.
I think what you're alluding to, so the communication is better, if you guys are willing to put 3, 4 people on a committee and work with us, I'm game with that. So the communication is better, maybe 4 people with ideas. I mean,
Okay.
I think that would maybe, I mean, we're up to do anything, we're look to increase the possibility, you gotta stay within the finances. But I, just to let you know, we're all for them and let you know, and Joe can confirm this. When we went up in 3 raises and we went to 14 to 16, then Braceville went up. And then Bristol went up, and then we went up again, Joe, right? And then they went up again. So every time we get up, they go another $1 or 2 more because it's such a small pool that everybody's grabbing from that. Now, in that whole process, when we went to the last raise, right, Joe?
We went up to the middle. Like
Yes, we were in the middle, and guess what? We lost 5 people. Just letting you know, because everyone here wants to say, you know, everyone back there wants to say, don't penny pinch, give them money. So we went to what you
Then
wanted.
name Daryl.
No, wait, let me finish. So we
Not
went-
everybody, just
let
say
me
Daryl,
finish.
because I'm the
So
only
we
one that
went
uses
to
that
what you
phrase.
wanted.
I don't
Went
get
over,
insulted.
got in the middle, and I believe this is true, because I know I got the papers to prove it. We lost 5 from the fire department. Because we went up, not because of it, but we went up and put us right in the middle, correct? And we lost 5.
Now, are they leaving because of the money or is it,
That's
or
what I'm
there
just
other
telling
issues?
you, there, that's what I'm saying, they wanted more money, so we as a board said, here you go, we do it, we raised it like that. But in that time frame, we've lost 5 from our fire department, went from 28 to 23. So is the money the problem? Because we're willing to go back up, but I'm telling you right now, it didn't make a difference then, and I don't think it's gonna make a difference now. It's not the money that everyone thinks it is. This board would do whatever. I live in a township, she lives in a township. Our number 1 priority is the citizens of Warren Township, whether you want to believe it or not. But I'm telling you, there's nobody to pull from. The days of your volunteer fire department are gone. The days of your pay per call are gonna be gone. I think Eric or Matt just mentioned it, I think it was, so it's up there. Unless you're starting to look to consolidate, or unless you're looking at full-time, which is an ungodly number, just to let you know, Lordstown did it last year, $2.4 million to start that department. $2.4 million. You would have to pass a 38 mil levy.
For us, it'd be like
The difference is
72, so
Lordstown
we could
has
actually
business.
get
So
the
I'm just-
people
I mean,
okay.
This is something, honestly, Heidi, I've known you forever. This bothers us. I got 2 grandkids, I got 2 kids living there, and yes, it could come to a point, I believe the one lady said about her daughter or husband or whatever, we're all worried. But the thing is, I mean, what is the solution? Because if you give us a solution, we're gonna turn around and go with it. Because we want the same thing you do.
First of all,
There's
don't
nobody out
compare
there.
it to Lordstown.
I mean, honestly, Joe,
Lordstown
if we
has
turn
all
around
kinds of
and pass
businesses that we
the
have none.
12 bodies to
We got a
hire,
ton of
where are you
steel.
gonna get your 12 bodies?
Like I was telling you, before, we need to advertise. Like, we did a 4-man crew. I think we could pull more.
And we're gonna give you that figure right now. Go ahead, Chris. For a 4-man crew.
Well, this is.
Joe's asking to put 4
Just
part-time.
part-time.
Instead of now, we try to staff 2 part-time, 24 hours a day. Joe's proposal, he's talking, he would like to put 4 people.
And we advertise that we're.
But my question is on that, if we can only staff 72%, 92% at 2 people, where do these other 2 people come from? That's my concern with that.
When you advertise that you're putting a 4-man crew on, you'll pull more people because right now, nobody wants to come work and run every single call, because if you're a paramedic and you run 10 calls, you're writing 9 reports. Because you're lucky if you get that 10th call. So they're continuously busy, but if you split the work between the two crews, so every other call they're going, you've got more, I got a better shot at getting more people to come work here than I do just with a two-man crew.
So let me ask you this,
Because we
Joe.
are busy.
Why don't you do this then? If we get together and we come up and maybe raise it or whatever we have to do there, what's the difference now advertising right now? We're looking for firefighters. We're looking for EMTs. We're looking for paramedics.
Well, right now,
Joe's just saying if they don't have to do every call, if they switch out call to call.
they
so
still go out. and
They're gonna work
help
half
each
a
other,
shift
but
and the
they
other
don't
crew
have
works
to-
the other half of the shift, but maybe.
They rotate calls. They still go out on all the
Half a shift
calls.
apiece.
They still go out on all the calls. They
There's
still
4
do
calls,
the
they
duties.
take 2.
It just, that one crew can't transport this patient this time, and that other crew is available for the next call, which we do get multiple calls consecutively. And then the next call that comes in is the other crew.
So do we have finances to support for shift?
We have to know
So I think there, again, it goes back to the same thing. I think you should probably get 4 or 5 people that's willing on a committee and work with us and try to. That's what I would say, unless you don't want to do.
Yeah, can I ask?
Better communication, better ideas, and I'm sure we can try to work with to make this a safe.
So we've estimated, just an estimate based on our collection rate, which has been the best in 10 years, at 64.9%. 1 mil would generate $95,155. So we're estimating a 2-man duty crew, which is full-time at 52 hours a week, times 8 employees, at $21.50 would give us $474.32. Part-timers, which would be 2, 38 hours a week, 10 employees at 18 an hour, which is $355,680. Then you average in overtime, which is an estimate. So you have about 18,000 there. Your benefits for those 8 full-time employees would be 240,000. Utilities estimated at 25,000. Equipment 500,000. Clothing 20,000. For total cost of $1,633,288. So the estimated levy that we would need to put on, additional to what we already have, that 6 mil levy would be an 18 mil levy. So, and that way, with our best year, again, at that 65%, would generate us the $1,081,768.78.
Where do you think the people are gonna get this 18 mil levy money from? I know what we're paying now. You're gonna tell me I'm gonna pay half the amount again?
That's why they're saying they can't do it.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
just.
it would actually go to double.
We just did an estimate just to show what a levy would be to put full-time people on.
We have a road levy and we haven't got all our satisfaction from that yet. And my community has gone to me, they won't come to the meeting.
Put together a committee, I think that'd be good.
They won't come to the meeting and approach you guys, they come to my house.
We can't have a volunteer fire department, is that what you're telling me?
No,
It's not.
Not
Why?
legally anymore.
you can have volunteers. They just can't be on a paid EMS crew part-time. Right.
Then why don't we have volunteers like I did for 15 years and we had 15 guys show up at every call?
Because
those days are done.
Nobody wants to do it.
Those days are done.
Start getting paid per call. That get away with the volunteer side. The only true people we have, I mean, even Dave gets paid to come out. You know, right now, as a firefighter, he gets $12.35 for that call. So we don't have true volunteers anymore. Everybody's getting
$12.35
paid.
for that call, period, not
Right.
$12.35
Not
an hour.
$12.35 an hour, $12.35 for that call. So we're out on that call for 4 or 5, 6 hours, that's all we get.
But that's
So why
because
can't you get volunteers and pay them? Well,
That's what we were doing, but it's not legal anymore, because as long as they work for the crew.
My husband's a volunteer. He's been doing this for 50 years. He's got 50 years as a firefighter. And he was a paramedic. He had to give it up because he had both of his knees replaced. So legally, he cannot get down on the ground to help somebody. You're up in the cot, that's something different. He's gone to meetings when Joe could not. Everybody in Trumbull County has the same problems that we are.
Yes.
They sit there and talk to all the fire chiefs about consolidating, saying, we needed a paramedic, or we need an EMS. Bristol has a couple extra. Ship one down here, or we had an extra, ship the champion, whatever. Nobody in Trumbull County wants to do that. They don't want to give up the money that they're making on the calls. And they don't have enough people to do that. But this is, we've talked to people that we know in Columbus that he's had. Ohio does not have enough people because nobody wants to volunteer anymore, because with the economy the way it is, a young person starting out needs to do 2 or 3 of these jobs just to keep their family going. They have a paycheck coming in to pay all the bills. So this is, and Eric went to a thing where this is United States, all over the United States. And then you get what, Washington State and California with all these wildfires. They don't have enough people to do these because nobody can come out and do the job half the time. And it's too much. They don't have the time to do the classes. They don't have time to keep CEs out. Because what is it? How many?
56 hours of fire, 30-some hours for EMS.
EMS.
For just a basic EMT, the medics are.
Medic
they're
and that has
like
more.
90 to 100.
And you have to pay for some of these classes. A lot of them they can do online. People don't have that extra money to do all of this. And it makes it rough for everybody. I don't want to see this go down because my dad, when he got sick, and it was all volunteers, and he was up to the fire station. They thought he was part of the fire station. My maiden name was Bartholomew, and 90% of the people probably knew Slats before anybody else. And I know my mom called when my dad was dying of cancer, and she played me the call back, and they turned around and put the tongue out, put the thing out and said, get your asses there, Slats is in trouble. I couldn't get to the house because the whole road had everybody. We had all 4 fire trucks, all 3 squads, and volunteer people coming to help my dad. You're not gonna find that anymore because there's not enough people to do it. And I've been on the auxiliary for 34 years now. And I mean, it's hard to even do our part to get the money to help them. Because our job is to, if they need something done, or if they needed something extra, we go out and buy it. What they used to ask us for is, we can't even touch sometimes. Because everything since the pandemic has shot up. Outrageous amount of money, you know, and it makes it rough for everything. What we used to pay one time, we're not even gonna touch it now. But yes, we do need to figure out something to help our firefighters.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the dam issue. Plus, the independent study that the trustees worked so hard to get is back. I addressed the bullet points of that study at the commissioner's workshop this morning. So I just wanted to share with everyone else that basically everything that this community has said from day one is absolutely true and supported in that study. Examples of that include the roadways are concerned with they would collapse. Actually, the company that's contracted here for the dam removal, their name is River Regions. A few years back, they had the same issue down in Tuscaloosa County where they removed the dam and the roads actually collapsed. It took that community 5 years to get the roads back. So Metro Parks did not do due diligence in vetting the contractor they had. That was number one. Number two, they identified that the fact that the septic's fluids are emptying into the river right now. If that dam was removed before the sewer system's in place, it will definitely create a nuisance in an unwanted environment because the dilution of the water compared to what's going into it will be less because the level of the water has dropped. So that is a nuisance and an unwanted thing there. The other thing is we expressed our concern about things like they have identified the hellbender fish, they have identified mussels in our river. Those are both on the endangered species list. And, you know, they could relocate the mussels if they saw.
Hey, if you guys wanna talk, why don't you just take it outside so we can hear, you know, what everybody's got going on,
We're
please?
not talking loud enough, you can hear.
I can hear you right here, I won't say anything.
That's enough.
Sorry.
Anyway, they could relocate the mussels, but we all know that they can't even cut the grass. Their push on taking the dam out is to restore the river to its natural condition and clean water. Right now, 80% of the water issue, as far as it not being clean, is created by the discharge from the septic systems. The other 20% is agriculture and what's naturally gonna occur. Okay, this dam was put in the early 1900s. So how far back do we have to want to take it to its natural state? The other thing is the only way to take this river back to its natural state is if every dam is removed. And I guarantee you, they are not taking the dam out that creates Lake Milton. Not gonna happen. So it's never going to its natural state. Not gonna happen. As far as them telling us the water level's not gonna drop too low, they've only got a 25% of the Summit Dam out, and go look at the water down there. It's already collapsing in. This will create 22 miles of river banks that they would have to restore and take care of if it happens. The other thing is the old dam that's there does have to be removed or it will cause a problem with the silt. So the sloughing that's going to be created, that's going to collapse the road, was spelled out in that. So the commissioners stayed. There was Commissioner Denny Malloy was there, Commissioner Morrow Canela Mesa was there, and they both, in my opinion, supported what we said. Denny Malloy said that that company wouldn't even come in and work in this county if he was making the decision who did it. They were giving grants of $861,000 from Ohio EPA, $861,000 from NOAA DNR. That is to remove the dam. There is no money available to fix anything that they mess up on the way. And we already know, you know, like I said, they're already trying to take these properties back to their natural original thing because they can't even cut the grass. So I think that the commissioners are going to stand by us, and I hope that that stands true to do what we have to do. But we do have to pressure Trumbull Metro Parks because they have the ultimate decision of whether it comes out or it doesn't come out. But I just want the community to know all the work that we've put in. The trustees have put hour after hour into this whole thing, going to meetings, trying to defend what we're doing. Some of the guys that grew up on the river have been through it all the way. And I just want you to know that everything we said is true. And that's the first thing that Commissioner Canela Mesa said. Everything that the community said is true, and it's in this report. So we're almost there. Like I said, we just need to get pressure on the Metro Parks, which the commissioner's next stage is they're going to talk to Metro Parks. They want to schedule another meeting and have them come in, whether they have their meeting down there or whatever, that we can all go to. And we need to let them know that it's not going to happen. We're not letting you take this dam out and put the community, our community, at risk. You know, we pointed out that if those roads collapse, our fire station is also right in the banks that can collapse. Our emergency services can't go if Market Street, North Levitt's out, or school's going to be impacted because those routes are tiered. So if you add time on what they have to do, if they have to go all the way around, you affect the whole bus schedule, and you can't upset it like that and make that big a space in between. So the schools are going to suffer. Everybody over in Meadowbrook area is going to suffer because the road's going to be gone. Even the houses on that side going up North River or North Levitt could be compromised. So we as a community really need to stand up to the 5 people in Trumbull Metro Parks that have not listened to us thus far and let them know that we're not going to take it.
When is their next meeting, Deb?
I'm not sure when it's going to be. The commissioners are going to talk about it tomorrow and tell them, you know, we want to get this meeting together as soon as we know what that meeting is. Maybe the trustees will even put it out here on the sign. We'll get it out, post it on Facebook, and when we need to be there. And we need to show up and force. Canela Mesa also said that they've heard complaints from hundreds of people about removing this dam.
Debbie, have you been down to Summer Street?
Yes.
You see the area that they had to use to put the contaminated dirt?
Exactly.
Metro Park doesn't have that property on this side of the dam to do that.
They plan on putting it right in the parking lot. The thing of it is what they're
parking
doing
lot?
is they're putting that soil there and they want to dry it out. Well, where's that water going to run to when you put it up there? That stuff's all contaminated. You know, there's a sleeping giant under what's there because the contaminants that used to be in the water have settled into the sediment. So when the river goes down and those are exposed, we have that issue. You need to go plant stuff that has mercury and lead and all that other happy stuff in, not to mention that we don't know what else is in that river. I mean, we did find a mortar round in there. You know, I've heard stories from guys with cars, washers, all kinds of stuff. That's all gonna be exposed. And John Brown, who was on Metro Parks, actually said, who's been telling us, oh, the river's not gonna drop that low. He's quoted in the newspaper saying, wow, yeah, there's actually an island. We didn't know that stuff was there from them taking Summer Street out. Look how much it dropped. You just sunk your own ship by saying that.
Just dropped 8 inches in the Meadowbrook area.
Yeah, and it's going to. And they don't even have the whole dam out yet.
Are they holding the water back somewhere? Because I went by there and I'm like, there's no water there.
Where at Summer Street?
Yeah.
You gotta look
Very
down to the
little
right,
water.
they kind of hold it on the right side unless you actually look in. It's all coming out of the right side.
And Deb, thank you for doing what you're doing.
This is us. You know, it's
Well,
not one
it is
person
us,
that
but
can ever do this. It's like with the landfill, you know, I kind of like was the spokesperson, but it's all the people that make it happen. And there was never a time that we couldn't feel that community center. It's the same thing now. This thing matters to us. This completely destroyed this community in our home.
Thanks, Deb. And just to let you know, you should take a look down there to see exactly what's going on, because we have, whether you're for taking it out or you're for leaving it, it's going to affect all of you that live in Warren Township or Braceville. And I know you might go, oh, it's not, it's going to, because that's going to be a health hazard. Just letting you know. So if you don't believe me, go to Summit Street and go down and look, and they're going to tell you, oh, we're going to clean that up. You're going to see it's just a moss pit of crap.
Yeah.
And that is what we're going to have on our banquets all throughout the river. So we've been telling everybody that wants to hear us that we do need your help, because it's going to happen, and there's just going to be a mess that they're going to leave us with, because they're not going to clean it up. It's not even in their proposal. So once again, how they dumped on us before, whether it be the dump, whether it be the prison, whether it be anything else, this is another thing that's going to happen. And then we're all going to be packing this meeting or community center going, I don't feel so well, my father-in-law don't feel so well, my grandmother don't feel so well, and we're going to be left with a mess. And this is your only shot to have them come with an alternative, because we've given them 4.
Did you check out that information that I sent you up in Allegheny?
Yes, and that's been very helpful, Daryl. We are trying to tell them, and here's the amazing thing, the last thing I'll say on it, not one of them people from Trumbull Metro Parks that's made this decision has even taken a trip to Louisville. None.
Daryl, or John Brown's going down there.
Oh, he's going to,
He's
yeah, it's a
going,
little
yeah.
bit late. Well,
He didn't invite you, did he?
I've been there. I've been to Louisville, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's going to go down immensely. That's 20% that did with the dam, and I think you said, what, 8 inches?
It's
So
already
what do you
dropped
think is
in.
gonna happen the other 80%? The only reason I'm bringing this up is because we have turned around and voiced everything. We need your help. And some of you might know I want it out. Well, all I got to tell you is you will come back and you will go, oh crap. Because that's what's gonna happen.
They don't even own property to get the machine into the dam, on the low side of the dam. They don't own property there.
The window is small. If we don't do it now, if you don't stop it now, they're gonna take it out, because it's already projected to be taken out in the next 9 months.
They told us they can come on our property when we want there.
No, they can't.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I just want to comment a little bit more on River. That is a dirt muddy bottom on it. It's not a full gravel like some of the rivers in that you'd never get that cleaned up. Because even if it's low, it's gonna be running, it's gonna be still dirty. And also I didn't hear, how much did it cost to foreclose on one property? To get them to pay their taxes?
I don't know the figure. We didn't have a figure per house, but you said when you was here for that meeting that it was $3 million to initiate the first filing.
but that would be for anybody in the county that was in that situation. So that's why they prefer to make workout plans with you. Can you give us a percentage down and we'll add 10% to your payments over the next so many years and.
Yeah, they'll do 5-year payment plans, so you have to make your payments in full by 5 years or you lose the house. So it stops the foreclosure temporarily.
But how come it costs so much? Court costs, where there's 100 people in the court working on that?
So they have to give everybody registered letters and stuff like that.
I would say
Paper isn't that much.
All right, can we,
He
good, right?
quoted $3 million.
3 million to foreclose on, say, 10 houses in.
No, that was if because our question was, why can't you foreclose on 10 houses in Warren Township that owe 20,000 in taxes? And he said that in order to do that, he would have to do it for the whole county. And the cost associated with doing it for everybody would just be too great of a number. And that would only get your first filing. That's not going to court, that's not paying the prosecutors.
That's remarkable. Is there any other avenues that you go through to?
Yeah, unfortunately, his office is in total control of that.
Or enforce them to, like you were saying, pay so much?
At some point, they end up in a tax sale, but it's very long and drawn out process to get that.
If I miss a doctor bill, they want it right.
Right.
All right, well, last one here, so we got some.
I would like to know, if you have a plan in place in case Trumbull closes. And if they shut down the emergency room at St. Joe's, then what do you do?
So I was at a meeting today with St. Joe's. They're absorbing a lot of the patient influx. They've been doing it for the last couple of months now, but they're absorbing a lot of that. They made changes to their department. They've hired a lot more nurses to try to handle the influx. Plus we have St. Main, St. Morgan we can go to, and for the non-emergent calls, like you have a headache or you stubbed your toe or something, with the calls that we get like that, we can take them to St. E's Austintown, which is standalone ER. And we also have UH Portage we can go to. So we have hospitals close enough to accommodate everybody. And there is still, I heard there's still a chance that someone may not go. They're not taking, nobody's taking the chance that somebody getting it and going and keeping it going. So they've made contingency plans for St. Joe's that start handling their folks. So we have we're going to start having weekly updates and probably monthly meetings until the whole process is done.
Go ahead, Sean.
Sean Shook, Trumbull County resident, Warren Township resident. I've been a resident in Warren Township probably a total of 30 years. I've come to many of these meetings and commissioners meetings, standing up for what's right. And for somebody here to insinuate that a renter shouldn't have rights at a meeting, shouldn't have a voice, this is America. It's not my choice whether I pay taxes or not. Property owners pay taxes. I have property back in the day, and when I did, I paid taxes. Now I rent. That shouldn't be held against me. That's ridiculous. And this is the second time I've been attacked for that. The man's upset because I caught him cutting on property he didn't own.
Sean, I think that we addressed that. I think everybody.
All right. I still like to speak. Debbie Roth come in here. She was here 10 minutes. You let her have the floor. How many times have I come in here and addressed taxes? Just because I don't pay taxes doesn't mean that I don't think those who should, they gotta pay. And one of the biggest things I hear in the community is two big things. Taxes are high, and people are tired of people not paying taxes that should. Now, you guys sit up there and numerous times you said, well, it's not us. We don't collect taxes. But if you would get together with the commissioners and the auditor's office, and all of y'all would put pressure on the treasurer.
We brought him here.
He said that was 3 years ago.
It was, no, it was like 2 years ago. We brought him, the whole public was here. We put out a presentation, gave out literature for it and everything else. And basically what he told us is to work on it. They put it in the paper who wasn't paying the taxes to try to embarrass them. And we have climbed since then. That was a 56 point something. And we went to 59 and now we're up to 65. So we are gaining. But I mean, that we have met with him. We constantly call. I can tell you 2 or 3 people that's called on different houses. I mean, you got 3 trailer parks in Warren Township. If you want to go to the auditor, go look at the 3 trailer parks. They owe us $2.1 million.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. The people who should be paying need to pay.
We understand
You
that,
can't
but-
keep sticking it to the ones who do pay.
You know what?
What's the
You should be-
incentive for this man to keep paying his
You
taxes
should be making
when he
calls to
knows
the, you should be
people that
making
get
a
away with
call to say we're gonna do all of it.
And what's the incentive for you to keep paying taxes when so many get away with nothing?
Okay, anything else? Because we're gonna
Because
get to
it's
the
the right thing to do.
Okay. We go to resolution 04-0824 for the recognition of fire chief as a municipality to hire a part-time
They're not through.
Resolution 05-0824 for the recommendation of police chief Benjamin Harrell to hire Ryan as a part-time officer at a rate of $16. That should be $16.50 per hour, not to exceed 32 hours per week.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Yoho?
Yes.
Mr. Anthony? Make sure you get that 13. Resolution 06-0824 to accept the agreement between the Warren Township, Trumbull County Engineers Office to pave the following roads: Billy Road, Cedar Road, Borden Road, and Nottingham Road.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Yoho?
Yes.
Mr. Anthony? Yes. No further business for the board, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Anderson? Mr. Yoho?
Yes. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah.